Today, Bitcoin goes on a wild ride, briefly crossing under the $30,000 mark as China continues its crypto crackdown.
I think that's what's most impressive to me about Bitcoin is learning about the second order effects of an open monetary network. I think Bitcoin is the most disruptive technology in the decade. It's the single most exciting thing going on in the world right now. And so everyone in the world is being asked about it. And in order to understand it at a basic level, you need 10 hours. To understand it moderately, you need 100 hours. To understand it decently, you need 1,000 hours. And to really master it, you need 10,000 hours. So in that period, I would say that Bitcoin became an institutional phenomenon following March of 2020. So we're like in year one. You could even say year zero was March of 2020. And then after February 8th of 2021, when Tesla announced that they're putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, it kind of broke into mainstream. So we're in the first year where every mainstream politician, every mainstream journalist, every mainstream business person is being asked what they think about Bitcoin. The CEO of General Motors, right? Every banking head, every investor. And if it takes you 1,000 hours to really get it and 10,000 hours to master it, but everybody in the world is forced to take a position on it with less than 1 hour or 2 or 3 hours of knowledge, then you're going to get a wide variety of reactions. And the two most common ones are, well, it sounds so perfect, I guess some politician will ban it. Well, that's an interesting reaction. It sounds so perfect that someone might not like it. And the other reaction is, I hear it uses a lot of energy. Well, because there's nothing else negative to be said about it. I mean, literally, it's a perfectly engineered monetary system. For the first time in 5,000 years, we've created triple entry accounting. And once you understand that you've taken double entry accounting and you've fixed the flaw, which is that people could reverse the books or cook the books or disagree on the transaction, you're like, wait, we perfected accounting that we can trust. Okay, so what's the catch? Oh, it's too good? No, the catch is it uses energy. How much energy? Well, I mean, 7 basis points, 0.07% of the worldwide energy mix nominally, but more like 1 to 2 basis points economically, because the nominal energy used is being bought at 2 cents or 1 cent a kilowatt hour, not at 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's like 1/100% of the economic value of energy in the world. And if you look at the CO2, per those stats, like 9 basis points of all the CO2 exhausted. And of course, if you look at energy intensity and you ask, well, I put $1 of energy into something, how many dollars do I get out? When you put $1 into Google or Netflix or Facebook, you get out $10. And when you put $1 into Bitcoin, you get out like $180, maybe $200. It's 20 times more efficient than streaming video or search or social media. And if you put $1 into an S&P 500 company, you get out $4. So, you're talking about 50 times more efficient than the S&P. If you put $1 into an airline, you get out 40 cents. So if you're looking for where we really burn energy, it isn't hard to figure it out. It's the planes, trains, automobiles, and the HVAC. And Bitcoin itself, I think it has the claim to many honorifics. One of them, it's the most efficient use of energy the human race has yet to devise. I'll put a period on the end of that. It's the most effective technology converting energy into prosperity we have ever invented. It's also the highest value and use of stranded energy or intermittent energy in the world, because you can generate, at this point with the latest generation of miners, you can generate 40 cents a kilowatt hour on an energy source on the North Pole. You can go to an island that's got a volcano on it. You can monetize it at 40 cents a kilowatt hour. You can't do that with Google or Facebook, which are the second best, because Google would have to have these super high bandwidth trunk lines, fiber optic cables to stream their videos, and they can't use all the energy from the volcano. So you're not going to see Google and Amazon and Facebook set up data centers 1,000 miles from civilization because of the bandwidth requirements. What you are going to see is that every place where there is a waterfall or a volcano or wind blowing and that energy is stranded, then we're going to rescue that stranded energy with Bitcoin. I think that's what's most impressive to me about Bitcoin is learning about the second order effects of an open monetary network. I mean, Bitcoin is a digital monetary asset on an open, permissionless network. And because it's decentralized and no company and no country owns it, it's really a thing for the world. So I don't think there's any other asset that I can think of where every intelligent person that understands it decides to start doing everything they can to make it more valuable. And that's a subtlety. If we had bought 1 million acres of land in Texas, I wouldn't have computer programmers in Singapore trying to figure out how to drive up the value of my land in Texas. And if we had bought $1 billion worth of Apple stock, I wouldn't have people in China and Russia and Europe and South America figuring out how to harness the power of volcanoes in order to drive up the value of my Apple stock. I wouldn't have the mayor of Miami, the governor of Texas, a president of El Salvador. You wouldn't have big tech companies trying to figure out how to, drive up the value of that asset. So unlike gold or bonds or equity or real estate, this is truly a global open phenomena. Anybody can participate in it. If you have money, you can bring the money to bear to drive up the value of the asset by buying it. If you have technology like Square or PayPal, you can bring the technology to bear by integrating Bitcoin into your technology, helping yourself and the asset. If you're a trader, you can short the future, buy the spot, lock up the asset, drive up the price of the asset. And you can do that anywhere in the world. So everybody that has any gift or any ambition looking to do something good for their own company and to build a better world, I think as soon as they see Bitcoin, this light bulb goes off and they realize, wait a minute, this is maybe the greatest opportunity of my lifetime.